What's up, everybody? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. I thought the song had one more verse or so. Thanks for coming. Whoop Wednesday. Let me get this down here. In the chat, we've got Guillermo was first. Loon FPV. They were talking for a while. Free Range Chicken RC. Strapelli Chomper Slide By. B-Man, Droney5, Vicious Stitches, Inverted FPV Girl. Inverted FPV Girl! Thank you for being my 0.5%. When I look at my analytics, 99.5% male, 0.5% female. Inverted FPV Girl is doing it. She's going to get us up to 1% female, maybe. Her and Lilithium are the only ones that ever come and hang out. Thanks for being here, Inverted FPV Girl. Everybody be cool. Guys, don't... I know it's crazy. There's a girl. I know it's nuts. Just chill, relax. Don't hit on her. It's all good. She's probably got, like, her own life. It's all good. Just chill. Everybody chill. Don't get all crazy. Us nerds get all crazy around ladies. Richard, RC Addict, Free Range Chicken again, Chomper, Johnny5 Smith, James Laria, Flying Ram, Strapelli again, Lazy Plumber, Geo Fairbanks, Free Range Chicken, Frank Nicholas, Chomper FPV, June Lokio, Geo Fairbanks, DU4 FPV, Flying Ram, Bam FPV, YouTube did the thing. Whenever YouTube does the thing, I'm just going to take it as a sign to stop reading people's names from now on. So you got to get in early. Just working my way through the chat here. If you want to talk directly to me and ask me a question or a comment or anything really, you're just going to type CiottiFPV into the chat. And when you do that, it's going to light up an orange like this. And that's just basically what I look for. I look for orange in the chat. And I can't even get through all the orange in the chat usually. So, yeah, tag me if you want to talk directly to me. Otherwise, you guys are hanging out here with me. The chat stays with these streams. So don't misbehave because 1,000+ people will see you being an idiot in the chat. Be cool. You guys are always super cool. But, you know, something to think about, right? Right? Chomper FPV says, has your quad ever fallen on the track? And how far up your throat were your nuts when it happens? Yeah, I will crash 3 to 4 times per drift event. I'm going to my channel right now and pulling up a Patreon only super secret little like unlisted edit of what happened after one of said crashes. Holy crap, we are at 4,898 subscribers. Wow. You guys are pretty awesome. I guess I'm supposed to say subscribe, but it just seems so, I don't know, it seems so disingenuous and weird. I don't know. If I give you a reason to subscribe, then do it. I don't want to just tell you to do it. Like, I'd rather give you a reason and then you do it of your own free will, you know what I mean? But that's just me. I'm a weirdo. Hold on here. Let me find this. It should be like right here. It should be called something like pay attention to your batteries after crashes even. Here we go. Careful with batteries. Oh, this is public. Okay. Okay, look at me. Look at me. Trying to educate the masses. Here you go. Here's what can happen. Very rarely, but can happen.
Oh my god, it blew up! GoPro's still going. Ow! Yikes! Damn! That hurt.
So, yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Kept going. So that was a, what was that, a 6S 1500? I think I said it in there. Yeah, 6S 1500. The first cycle was here at home, and it was fine. Well, not here in the building, but, you know, around home. And then, yeah, that was a fairly benign sort of crash. It came down right on a motor and broke the arm right at the motor. And then it sat there, and one of the course workers grabbed the quad and put it up on one of those plastic barriers, and it sat there on the plastic barrier for a while. I was able to get them to did they unplug it? Yeah, they unplugged it for me, and then it sat there on that barrier for probably about 20 minutes. It was in the sun, but like I don't know, and it's a white battery, which was kind of weird. And the battery didn't take a hit at all. And I got out there. I picked it up off the barrier, as you saw. I held the quad out in front of me. I pulled the battery straps. And as I went to take the battery off the rig, it vented. And it vented right here. Like, perfectly, exactly into the webbing of my thumb. And, like, instant... So, like, I always try to do stuff, like... I learned this from fireworks. You never want to light a firework and and wind up and throw it, because if you light it and wind up and the fuse goes quick and it blows up here, you're gonna have a bad day. With fireworks, you always light them and just push away, so that if they blow up in your hand, you're already kind of, you know what I mean, pushing it away. I do the same thing with these batteries because they scare the shit out of me. So I kind of like keep them in front of me, and as I guess we all do. But yeah, that was sort of the motion, but it didn't matter. It was just so instant that it, yeah, like this webbing of my thumb was like black skin for like weeks. It was really nasty and hurt like shit, and it was a mess. So yeah, respect, like, have a healthy, be afraid of these batteries, right? It's called a healthy fear, because it'll hopefully have you healthy. But yeah, be careful. Other than that, what's cool about drift events is the cars are all beat to hell. And so when you hit the cars, they think it's funny. And then I crash a lot, so like before the rig is hitting the ground, I am disarmed and pulling on the turtle mode switch and like starting to rearm again. So like for me, by the time the you know, like usually the rig will hit and do like maybe like a little dance or something, I'm like waiting to arm in turtle mode when that happens. And the second that the rig that I see that it's going to be upside down, I'm arming and starting to figure out which motor I want to fire up. So like usually for me, a crash is kind of like bang, tumble, 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 tumble. If upside down, pretty immediately I'll start to, like, as if it's one big motion. And that's just from crashing a lot. Like there's no way that you can like teach yourself that. It just comes from crashing hundreds of times and just getting used to the stress involved with crashing, and your brain just becoming a little bit more able to deal with it and think think ahead, rather than thinking like, oh my god, I'm gonna crash, oh my god, is it gonna get lost, oh my god, is it gonna catch on fire. Yeah, once you've crashed enough times, it's also why I can disarm and rearm when going through Scraggle. If I get hung up in Scraggle, I'll disarm right away, and then the second, and I just wait. And I'm just sitting there waiting with my finger on the arm trigger just until I get out of the Scraggle into a spot that it's going to be okay to rearm. And I can almost always rearm when I'm still in the air and correct it and keep it from hitting the ground. Not all the time, but yeah, no way to train that. You just got to fly a lot. You just got to crash a lot. So yeah, I've yet to most of the guys who have flown the drift events here with me and without me have had rigs get fully run over, and when a rig gets run over by a car, it's done. I mean, like, it's almost not worth it to pick up the pieces because they're all destroyed. So yeah, most of the other guys have unfortunately had that experience, but I haven't, just because I just have developed this ability over the last 4 years to really quickly recover and get the hell out of there. Like, and that's the name of the game at the drift events. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't even matter if you take off. Like, you just need to get out of the racing line. You just, and it's happened to me a couple times where like I've turtle moded over and I've seen I was close to a barrier, and instead of turtle moding over in order to take off, I've just hammered the turtle mode, which will throw the rig up in the air and tumble it towards but I don't care, because all I need to do is get it to the barrier or get it to the outside wall. And I don't know, maybe that wherewithal comes from all the years in motorsports, I guess, possibly. But yeah, I don't know. When I crash at drift events, it's usually like 1 or maybe 2 seconds that I'm in the danger zone. Before I can just get it out of the racing line so that it's safe, and so that I can take a second to properly get it back over on its feet and, you know, see if the props are banged up, see if it'll take back off and go away. B-Man Loon, Toxic FPV, just checking all the tags out here. Toxic says, what's a good Cinewhoop to carry a Session 5? I know it's not the best camera choice, but it's what I got. Same answer as in Blunty's stream, Toxic, Cinewhoop. There's really no reason. What? What's happening? Am I having a stroke? What's rattling on this rig? What? Something rattling around in here. What's... Somebody messing with me? What's in there? And where's there? What? There's nowhere for something to be. What is what? What am I hearing? What is it? What's happening? There's like a screw. It sounds like there's a screw bouncing around inside. Why is there grass coming out of this now too? Oh, did I? Oh, I guess I did fly this. Hold on. Hold on. This is important. It's not important to you, but it's important to me. I always make it about you, okay? Now it's about me. Why? What? Is it? It's the battery strap. Cinesplore. FPV cycle. It's the lightest of the Cinewhoops, and if you're carrying around the lightest of the HD cameras, it just kind of makes sense. Here's what to expect. Apparently I flew this, and the session is still in it, so more than likely there's footage of me flying it. On there. Do the TPU GoPro holders really need to be as tight as they are? That's what she said. I haven't looked at this yet, and it is Whoop Wednesday, so this is valid consumer advice. Yo, what is rattling around in here? It's not the battery strap. I thought that I could convince myself that it was the battery strap and be like a little bit less crazy for a change, but I mean, you saw how that went. You can see what I'm doing right now. What? Come on, man. What? Hold on. Why? Why? Why are you doing this to me? Don't. Oh, it's a rock. How do I get a rock in there? Oh God, I got this camera pointed up all weird. Look at that. See? There was something in there. All right, what are we doing here? What is this? Whoop Wednesday? Is that the deal? Yeah, there's a bunch of footage on this. This memory card is called Nutsack. Let's take a look at it. Just in case you think I'm kidding. There it is. It's called Nutsack. What do we got? What is this nonsense? Oh, good. We're taking pictures. We're taking pictures. That's important. That's important business there. All right, hold on. Chat, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Hold on. It's a very distracted stream. For all of my American friends, congratulations. Today was a really good day. This morning was filled with a lot of tears of happiness in this house. And that's all I'm going to say about it. But congratulations from the bottom of my heart. Today was a big deal. And the fact that today went without any Nazi activity is a real good thing, man. A real good thing. What am I doing here? Is this... Did I record a one battery review? Is that what I'm seeing here? Oh, here it is. Here you go. Look at this thing. Look at this. This is why. This is why the Cinesplorer is a big deal. There is not a single other Cinewhoop that will do this, for the record. Especially on little old 1804 motors on 3-blade Cinewhoop props. Oh, that was the dead. I put a dead battery on it. Here we go. What? Wait! Look at this. Look at the flight performance from a Cinewhoop. Remember, this is a fully ducted Cinewhoop, guys. Okay, fully loaded, fully ducted, like all the TPU, everything. Okay, and this is untuned. This is the maiden. I mean, that was the maiden a second ago, but this is the actual maiden. No tuning, just. Cinewhoop shouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff. As I do more and more of the tune moves, I'm just like, am I gonna have to tune this at all? Yeah, at some point up here, I realize that, like, so there you go. So it does need a little bit of tuning. That big throttle blast in a weird orientation did produce a couple little bobbles, which came out. Which was just more D-gain, just more D-max, and it cleaned that completely up. No bounce back at all. Oh, okay, this might be me adding the D-gain. I bet you this is me adding the D-gain because I saw it do that big bobble. So yeah, my guess would be I'm pushing in both P and D-gain at this point. A little bit of D-min. I've been on the ground long enough where I know that I'm in the menu pushing D-min in. So this is me pushing D-max and D-min. I can push P-gain and D-max in very quickly, but I always forget where D-min is. And yeah, I can tell I've been on the ground long enough where I'm fumbling through the menus to try to find D-min. Come on, past me. Find it. Push it a little bit. There we go. There we go. Ooh, jeez. Yeah, so I think right around now I realized, like, this is a freestyle rig. Yeah, check this Cinewhoop out. Power loops with a Cinewhoop, bro. What you know about that? Still needs a little bit of D-max there. I still saw a little bobble that I don't love. Not a bad maiden. Am I right? See the little wiggle when it's inverted and I pick up the throttle? Although, I mean, that is kind of a freestyle specific move. So it's kind of like, why would I? I mean, it kind of stands to reason, like, don't tune. I will tune that out, but you kind of don't need to tune that out in a way. You know what I mean? Look at this thing. Unreal. And I think that was where I saw the battery was at like 3.3. No, surely not. If I went back up the street. Yeah. So oh, that's right. I wanted to check the cruising stability. Oh, I actually really want to look at this. It's fine. Oh, yeah, it's nailed down. Wow. No mid-throttle vibes at all. Might have been a little something there. Maybe. Yeah, there is a little something there. Yeah. Okay, so I need to work on that. But, actually, I probably could get away with not working on that because most of the stuff is going to be stabilized from this, and that's not enough to really affect the stabilization, but I will tune it out because that's what I do. I think, you know what? That's what I'm doing right now. Oh, yeah, that guy. One of my neighbors. Alright, so let's see. He's such a cool guy. There you go. Cinewoop with a session 5. And it's looking like at some point we're going to be able to pull gyro data. And look at this guy wearing his pajamas. What a slacker. At some point here, it seems like sooner than later, we'll be able to black box, pull the gyro data off the black box, dump it into a program along with the session 5 footage, and it'll stabilize it. So nothing wrong with a session 5 Cinewoop. I bought I have another Cinewoop up there with a Hero 8 mount, and I bought this session 5 mount as sort of like an experiment to see how light I could make a Cinewoop, and I'm glad I did, because this rig with the ability to, this rig with the session is pretty impressive. It'll be even more impressive when I get the actual FPV cycle ducts on it. These are the kind of crappy Cloud 149 or whatever the hell it is ducts, which I have a ton of because they're like my basher ducts. But I also have a set of Bob's ducts, TPU, not TPU, nylon printed, I guess, ducts, that, I'm going to figure out a way to get these, I think, onto that rig, maybe onto the other rig. It depends. It depends which rig they will clear the propellers on, but coming soon. I've neglected the chat for long enough that I'm going to be very behind. So bear with me. Let's get caught up. T-Bird saying hey. Bam FPV saying hey. YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling back up. Trying to find my place. Flying Ram likes the intro music. It's that's from Quessy on Instagram. Roswell of 51. He doesn't even really do music anymore. He's one of the people that when I sent T-Pain the video of him drifting that I like kind of half-ass edited, and then he posted on his channel, 1 million people replied and said, "Oh my god." And so I went through all the replies and I just looked at everybody and I found a bunch of people in there that were that make music. And I messaged those people. I said, "Hey man, thanks for the love on that T-Pain video. I'd love to work with you in the future if you need any FPV drone footage." But I had like a little thing I copied and pasted to all these people, and a bunch of them got back to me. And Quessy was like, "Dude, super cool. I don't really do the music thing anymore. I have a full-time day job, but if you ever need any beats, let me know." And I said, "Dude, I'm always in need. Anything that you're willing to let go, I would love it." And he sent me an email with like a whole big folder of that and a bunch of other really cool copyright-free, just solid beats. And he's like, "Here, use them as much as you want, man. I just want my stuff to get out there." And I was like, "Yeah, Quessy, me and you, man." Because I'm of the same mind. Like this culture of like, no, this content's mine and nobody can use it. Like that, no. Like, make cool stuff, let it out, like put it out into the world. If somebody abuses it, sure, but like if somebody, I don't know. I feel when I see people using my content, I'm very honored. I'm not angry and looking for a payday. I'm honored, and it feels really good that something that I made was good enough for someone else to care about. Maybe that's just me having no self-esteem, but hey. Slideby says, "I heard that Bardwell is building a battle bot." I heard that too, Slideby. Make sure that you guys do super chats over on Joshua's channel and say for your BattleBot build with CiottiFPV. Vicious Stitches says, "People are trying to commission Bardwell for the BattleBot." I love that you motherfuckers, like, you created this thing, right, out of thin air, and you and then like it wasn't enough to just do it here. You guys went over to other people's live streams and sent other people's super chats for CiottiFPV's battle bots. Fun. It's the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever experienced. Oh god, I love it so much. Like, I'm trying my best to like feign, to like fake be upset about it because I think it's funny. But like every time I'm holding back the laughter. It's just like, it's so ridiculous. Like, you guys have lost your fucking minds. You're crazier than I am. That makes me feel very good. It's so fucking weird. You guys are so weird. Oh god. To anyone that doesn't know what I'm cry laughing about, like, I don't know, like a week ago? Who started it? Do you guys know who started it? Somebody in the chat, just like completely at random, one of my live streams last week. It's so fucking silly. It just makes no sense. Okay. I can't even tell the story because it's so stupid. It's not stupid. Oh, shit. Oh, Christ. Today was a very emotional day, and I think this is some of that emotion venting. Oh, shit. Yeah, so, like, last week, I guess... Oh shit, it's finally happened.
He's cracked.
He's lost it. Alright, hold on. Hold on.
You okay?
I got this.
Breathe.
I got this. I'll figure this out. I'll figure out how to tell this. Hey, can somebody in the chat tell the story for me? Because I can't get through the story for some reason. We got shit to do. God damn it. Okay, in the chat. Fuck. I hope there it is. The very next comment. It's BattleBox related. BattleBox related. Alexander says, "What kind of BattleBot are we building?" All right. Loon says, "I wear my colors with pride." I says, "Squad boo." Drone Pilot says, "So if we talk about Catwoman outfits, if they use Vaseline and they get the shine, if you have one, you mean everyone will see it later?" What? Wait, what? So if we talk about Catwoman outfits and if they use Vaseline to get the shine, and if you have one, you mean will ever... Drone Pilot, you totally lost me with that one. I might have gone off the reservation. But I can't understand that. So tag me again. I'm subtly intrigued. Oh God. A bunch of streams ago, somebody just randomly said that I was in the stream chat. Somebody just randomly said that I'm building a BattleBot, and then everybody got so excited, and I didn't see it for like an hour because I'm usually like an hour. Right now, for example, it's 10:30. I'm still reading super chats from, or not super chats, chat comments from 10:05. So by the time that I got to that part of the chat, everybody was like in a frenzy. And then, and then, I'm gonna have to end the stream because I can't get it together. Oh, fuck a duck. Screw a kangaroo. And then, and then people started like super chatting me like for the BattleBot fund. And I just kept saying, like, no, there's no goddamn BattleBot fund. But I am a huge fan of BattleBots. So then we started talking about BattleBots, and then I thought it was over. But then, like, every stream since then, every one of my streams since then, every 10 minutes, basically, somebody will mention BattleBots. And then these lunatics went over to Joshua Bardwell's stream yesterday, the news stream, and they filled the fucking news stream up with a bunch of super chats saying for Ciotti's BattleBot build. And Joshua and his Blunty were like, what the fuck? I watched it last night. Oh, fuck. I watched it last night, and I was just like, I was like horrified, but it was so fucking funny at the same time. Oh, God. I can't believe you guys did that. That's the funniest fucking thing in the world. Oh, shit. Like, you guys, like, stormed, like, the most popular FPV live stream that we had. And just kept this, like, just blatant lie. Just perpetuated this blatant lie. Oh, my fucking God. Oh. I think, like, the hilarity of the whole thing maybe just hit me all at once. But, like, my favorite thing was on yesterday's live stream. On yesterday's Patreon-only live stream. If you haven't joined my Patreon yet, it's 10 cents a day. You can do it. I stream every single day for Patreon folks, and if that's not worth if my stream every day is not worth 10 cents to you, then screw you. I guess I don't know. Obviously not screw you. You guys just hanging out is plenty. It's all I've ever wanted or asked for or needed. But yeah. So on yesterday's stream, after the news, a bunch of the guys in the chat were like, "Yo, have you watched Joshua's and It's Blunty's news yet?" I was like, "No, why?" And like one by one, people were like, "Oh, we did super chats for you for the BattleBot fund," and I was like, "Yeah, you're full of shit. Yeah, you're full of shit." And then like when the 5th or 6th person said it, I was like, "Oh fuck." So yeah, after the stream last night, I turned it on, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Oh God. Okay. All right. Back to FPV, I guess. Toxic FPV with $5 super chat for the BattleBot fund. P.S. Trump is gone. Take it how you want. Thank you, Toxic FPV. I'll put $5 towards the BattleBots fund. License to Drive says, Living Hinge. I did one for the Crossfire Nano tonight, and over 110 people liked it on the TBS Facebook group. If you guys don't know, License to Drive is doing all kinds of really cool TPU 3D print files and putting them up on Thingiverse for all of us to benefit from. So check it out. I'm going to copy this I'm going to put it here. Whoo, boy. I did the wrong copy. No, I did the right copy. Oh, God. There it is. Everybody check out License to Drive on Thingiverse. I don't know what to do now, man. Here comes a link into the chat. Anything else I do in this stream is not going to be anything like what just happened. Oh shit! It's nice to know that I'm not the only lunatic. License to Drive says I'm going to remix it so it sits on 20x20 stacks, but tomorrow, because I'm on the run right now. Sounds good, License. Dude, thanks for making such awesome shit, dude. It's super cool. Drone Pilot burned his hand real bad with a 6S 2650 mAh, and it caused me to go to a hospital, because it started swelling while charging, so I unplugged and went to toss it, but it blew up right away. That's, yeah, man. Here's what I will say. One of the other things that I really like about micros is that the batteries are just nowhere near as dangerous. You could almost say that the batteries kind of aren't dangerous at all. Like when like even like a 4S 450, when that vents, it's just like fire, and like that's it. It's just like a tiny little bit of fire, and then it's just like chill for the rest of the time, and it's just kind of like smoke. So like with micros, I really don't think you could burn down your house with micros unless you're like micro batteries, unless you're being like totally stupid with them and like had a bunch of them in the carpet or something weird like that. If you do anything if you pay any attention to batteries, micro batteries are super, super, super safe. 5-inch mini quad batteries are like kind of just big enough to vent a bunch of fire and probably like light the carpet or maybe like a shelf of your shelving unit or whatever on fire. But yeah, micro batteries are much much less vigorous when they go off, when they pop off. Tiago says best 1S quad to fly in small rooms, just for fun, no cinematic needed. Mobula 6, Tiago. It's just so cheap, and you get the 25,000 kV. Yeah, get the 25,000 kV motors, and then scale them down. Because at full beans, it's a lot. It took me a long time to be able to scale those 25,000s back up. But yeah, Mobula 6, just do it, and then like swap like the frame out. I like the cockroach frame better, or the meteor frame. Whew. Kevin Smith says she probably has a life, unlike the rest of us. I forgot what we were talking about, Kevin. But I hope you didn't take that as a serious thing. I was joking. Slideby says it's homework time. Hopefully Slideby didn't miss the absolute mayhem over the last 20 minutes. Jonathan Steber says building a 3-inch Cinewhoop doing 4S with all up weight of 550 grams running 2204s. Should I go 30? Where'd it go? Should I go 3450 or 2800 kV? Jonathan, I am no longer recommending or buying anything other than the highest kV motors available, because Betaflight's motor scaling as of 4.2, apparently it's always been in there, but it's been buried in the CLI. Now on 4.2, it's right below the PIDs. The motor scaling works absolutely perfect. My new 5-inch freestyle setup is 2400 kV motors on 6S scaled down to 65%, and it's completely fine. I've spent like 6 months back-to-backing 2 completely identical rigs. One of them scaled down like that, the other one on 1850s scaled down to like 90%, 95%, 85%. It depends on the spot that I'm at. And there's just no difference that I can feel or see, or the runtime is the same. Like, everything is the same between those rigs. You're going to see a bunch of people on Facebook saying that it's a terrible idea and it causes all these issues. But not one of those people has actually done it, because if they had done it, like they would know that it doesn't make an actual difference in flight feel or runtime or any of the things that actually matter. So, yeah, if something is a problem on paper, but then in real life it's not a problem, in my opinion, it's not a problem. And yeah, it's it's very frustrating to me that there are so many people turning people off of using motor output limiting that have no idea what they're talking about. And they're preventing people from using an extremely nice feature. I can't even explain how different it is to be able to turn the amount of power that you have on your rig up and down, like, on a whim. Like, when I was flying with Joshua at this big spot with a big dive gorge thing, I had this moment where I was like, man, I wish I had a little bit more power. And for the first time ever, I remembered, like, oh, and like in the middle of a battery, I just landed it on top of the parking garage real quick. Sticks, down, into the menu, down, down, into that menu. I think it's like down, 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 motor output limit, 65%, boom, 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 70%, take back off. Now I've got more power. Perfect. Like, that's a big deal. That's a really, really big deal to be able to do that. And then it also opens up all kinds of other stuff. Like, oh, I want to try this propeller, but it's a really low pitch, and I don't have enough total power with it. Just turn the RPM up. That's basically what you're doing by turning the motor limiting up, is just turning the RPM up. Or, alternatively, oh, I want to go do a bunch of high-speed stuff. Let me put these crazy pitchy propellers on. All right, well, I don't want to be able to go full throttle and pull 300 amps and blow the whole rig up. Let me just scale my throttle down a little bit so I don't even have to think about that. And it also scales the PIDs down along with it. So yeah, motor limiting is a really big deal, and I think that we should all be using it, because being able to control your power output is amazing. So yeah, 3450 for sure, Jonathan. And from now on, I don't even care about KV anymore. Like, all I think about is motor sizing, and then it's just like, oh, this is the motor that I want. What's the highest KV? 7 million? That's fine. Send them to me. TolkienFPV saying what's up. Slide By says, just picked up the Mob 6 Lite, going to put it in a Mob 7 V2B frame so I can run wider batteries. What else should I do to it? Different ESC firmware? No, I would, if you're going to the bigger, heavier propellers, the only other thing I would do is go to a bigger, more torquey motor, so that those bigger, heavier propellers don't kill the flight performance. So yeah, I would switch to like an 1102. Beta FPV and Happy Model both have 1102s, and I think that 1102 is the proper motor size for those. I think they're like 1.4 inch. I think the smallest, the 65 propellers, I think, are 1.2s, and then I think the 75 propellers are like one. Oh, you know what? It says on them. Why am I guessing? Gemfan. Pirate! Arr! Arr! No, they're 1.6. 1636. Wow, these are a 36 pitch. No shit. Wow. I would have thought they were less pitched than that. Yeah, so I guess it's... Well, there's no need to guess, you jackass. Arr! Pirate! Yeah, 1.2. Oh, wow, 20 pitch. The little ones are 1220s. Man. Okay. So yeah, these are not only bigger, but they're almost twice as much pitch. So yeah, for sure. I would definitely not run these 1.6 inch propellers on a tiny little 0802. I would get up to an 1102 for sure. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. That's a pretty standard thing that needs to happen when you're when you're going up to a bigger, heavier propeller, is you need to, if you don't want the flight performance to suffer, of course, you just need to go up to a bigger motor. It's just the way it is, right? I mean, think about cars. If you have a Honda Civic and you want to put 30-inch wheels on it that weigh 100 pounds each, the regular Honda Civic motor is going to catch on fire. You need to LS1 swap it for your 100-pound per 100-inch diameter wheels. Quads are the same. Not really the same, but you know. At some point in the chat here, I can't wait to see in the chat where I had my crisis. T-Bird says, does it have a loose screw or you? Definitely me. Tim says, and there is CiottiFPV's phone number for anyone who wants it. Yeah, I figured I wouldn't mention it so that nobody would know to look there. Orga A says, great choice choosing fake BattleBots over health insurance. Insurance is no fun. Yeah. Did I change it? I did change it. Oh, wait. Yeah. I forgot that I changed. Yeah, health insurance is no fun, but when you don't have it and there's a virus killing people, it's a little scary. Dauntless says, woohoo, I'm smiling. Jackson Morse says, what's up? I'm a little late. KVFPV says, just took out my set of Moonlight props for a test flight, and fuck, they are neat. I don't even have any on the way. I haven't done an order in a while. Woo! Yeah, I don't even have any on the way. I gotta do an order and throw them on there. They're probably all sold out by now. Oh, I do have some. Shutting my mouth now. Scroll. Here we go. There's where I was. All right, let me check the time. Okay, 10:18. Good. Nope, that's not where I was. Here we go. 10:22. Catranization. That's it. How would you build the perfect Cinewhoop? Sort of. Actually, no. It's the other one. This is it, in my opinion. Brother Hobby Cinesplorer frame. Brother Hobby 2004s. These 5-blade Gemfan props. The cheap ducts are totally fine, but the nice FPV cycle ducts are way better. And then just a 20x20 stack, 20x20 ESC, 20x20 flight controller. Affiliate links below in the description to the ones that I prefer, that have held up to the abuse that I've dealt out. And whatever VTX, you can put a Caddx in here, or you can just go analog or whatever. And then whatever camera you like. I mean, there's a million really good cameras out there. And BMC 3D TPU is my favorite. And yeah, that's about it. Pretty straightforward Cinesplorer build. I did the majority of this build on past live streams, so you can sort of follow along. And I did the new build as well, which is super similar, just with slightly smaller motors. But yeah, Cinesplorer on 2004s with a 20x20 stack is... And the thing about the Cinesplorer is, every single time a pro pilot flies the Cinesplorer for the first time, they go, holy shit, this is a whole different thing from any Cinewhoop that I've ever flown before. I think most recently that happened to Jet. Jet has a video up where he flew the Cinesplorer for the first time and was just like, wait, what? And Jet has a long history of flying squirts, which is like sort of the benchmark in Cinewhoops. All up weight on the Cinesplorer with the 1804s is 250, not all up weight, dry weight is 255. So with a GoPro and a 4S 850. So that's the other cool thing about the CineXplorer is that you can put wee little batteries on it because it's so light and still get really good runtime. So with a 4S 850, which I'll get like 4 or 5 minutes out of, 426 grams. And then, yeah. And then, but that's with a Session 5. This one on the bigger motors with a Hero 8. God forbid the scale is 0.2 of a gram off. Wait, no. This guy is 480. So, yeah, like 200 to 300 grams less than a lot of the other Cinewhoops out there. And that's why, like, straight up, that's why the CineXplorer flies so good, because it's lightweight. Lightweight flies better, period. Like, no conversation, no, like, lightweight flies better, period. If heavyweight flew better, we would make our frames out of wood. You know? Like, it's just, it's, yeah. When you build something that flies, 99% of the engineering goes into defeating gravity. And one of the best ways to defeat gravity is to be lightweight. And you can quote me on that one. Double A says, what's the all-up weight on that? Which is why I just weighed him. Vicious Stitches says, we love you, dude. Thanks, brother. Tiago Ramos with 5... 5 Brazilian Real for the BattleBot Fund. Dog Life UK says, Kenny Florian. Do I look like Kenny Florian or something? Oh wait, no, that's right. Kenny Florian is one of the announcers. Wow, it's been a while since I watched BattleBots. When I think of Kenny Florian, I think of UFC, because I was a UFC fan long time ago, 15 years ago. And then when it really came back 10 or so years ago, I was already like kind of a fan. It was so fun. And then when everybody became fans, I kind of went, this is not for me anymore. Right around the time that Anderson Silva broke his leg kicking Weidman in the shins. That was, I think that was the last fight that I watched, actually. Metal Dirtskin says, I think it was just some rando who stumbled in the stream and had never seen a drone before. Really? Metal? That's even better. That even if that isn't the story, that is now the story, I think. All right, so here we go. Chomper FPV with $19.99 for the BattleBot Fund. Remy Tim with $2 for the BattleBot Fund. Mike Bamiller with $5 for the BattleBot Fund. All right, let me do some math. I think the 5 reals is roughly the same as, let's call it $3. So that's 3 plus 2 for 5, 25, 30. 30 more into the BattleBot Fund, and then, so that makes me have to do maths. I think this is right. I think that's right. Thank you, Tiago. Thank you, Chomper. Thank you, Remy Tim. Thank you, Mike. Chomper, super generous, brother. Thank you. Very, very cool of you. Tiago Ramos says, a guy saw the quad and asked if it was a BattleBot. A BattleBot. Why do I keep saying BattleBot? Asked if it was a BattleBot, and I'm just going to call them BattleButts from now on, and I super chatted it. So it was a random. So literally, a random person came into the stream, saw an FPV quad, and thought it was a BattleBot. Why not? Lazy Plumber says, get your shit together, man. Alex says, we lost Ciotti. Daniel says, we've killed him. Loon says, you finally see my messenger. Maybe? If I replied back to you, then I did. Tom Toxic FPV with a $5 super chat. He says, make sure the BattleBot has props. The non-existent BattleBot will definitely have props. Oh my god. How long can we keep this going is the question. Joshua Kermai says, it's on Discovery every Thursday. They have drones and BattleBots, CiottiFPV. Yeah, they allowed drones 2 seasons ago, and a bunch of people did them because the 200, I mean, you've got a 250-pound weight limit, so putting like a 2-pound drone up in the air with a flamethrower on it, it's like, why the hell wouldn't you? I think this most recent, not the season that's on now, which I haven't seen yet. I don't have cable. I gotta download everything, and I haven't found a spot to download it from yet. But so not this current season, but the one season previous to this, I think that they didn't allow drones, which I think that was season 3. I think it's in season 4 now. It sounds like they allowed them again in season 4. That's pretty cool. It sounds like that's what Joshua was saying. Spudnik says, is it true Rudder Riot is going to sponsor your BattleBot build? Sure. Chomper FPV says, the collective is entering BattleBot sponsoring it. CiottiFPV. I want to be the one who controls the chainsaw on the BattleBot. Don't we all, Dan? Don't we all? Loon says, your insanity, read my messenger and you will not regret it. Trust me. I most certainly will, Loon. Alec Dvornik says, BattleBots at Rampage. If there was going to be BattleBots at Rampage, there'd be a better chance of me defying logic and the virus and like kind of saying like I'm going for. If there was going to be like a legit BattleBots Rumble at Rampage, I would at this point just say I'm going, guys. Fuck the virus. But there's not going to be, and that would be an absolutely insane thing to do. Alec Dvornik, oh yeah, we got that. Tannard with a $10 super chat with a little smiley face. Thank you, Tannard. Very, very cool of you. I'm going to put it in the BattleBots fund just for the LOLs. That's something the kids say, right? Am I cool now? Alexander Romanenko says, but seriously, why don't we build a flying BattleBot quad? I already have spinning blades, add a knife on top of the drone, and fly it over other drones. If you're being serious, Alexander, look up BattleBot Season 2 fights, and you'll find a whole bunch of people who put drones up in the air, and it was just a joke. The best fight with a BattleBot in it. Oh, fuck! Which one was it? It was the bright yellow BattleBot that looks like a little race car. I think one of the BattleBots that has an articulating arm on the top. He duct taped a rake onto the arm on top, and like 10 seconds into the fight, if I remember, I think at some point in the fight, like totally planned, drives the thing under the goddamn quad and just goes blah and just like rips it out of the air. And then I think he even drove into it with a spinning disc and just boom, because it had a compressed or it had like a propane tank, and and I think that was one of the reasons why they didn't allow them in the following season, in season 3. It's one of the most satisfying things in the world. If you haven't seen that and you're into BattleBots at all, you should go look it up. It was in season 2. I don't remember. Somebody from chat will probably have already typed which bot it was. Go look it up. It's pretty satisfying. It's too small of an arena, and I don't know. It's kind of I wonder if you gave if you did like a 50-pound, but see, then it would be. Although I guess the BattleBots are pretty creepy. I was gonna say that it would be too creepy, but the BattleBots are peak creep. Yeah, I wonder if you took like 50 pounds of the 250-pound weight limit and built a 50-pound quad. I wonder what you could lift up. I wonder how destructive of a thing that you could lift up. it would still get the shit beat out of it. You know what the problem is that it's only ever going to be fire. Like a flying battle bot is only ever going to be able to do fire, and the fire just doesn't do shit against these bots. Like they insulate them, they do a really good job building them, and none of the fire things ever really work. Like once or twice, it's the fire rigs have done something, but it's more for show. Which is actually a big part of BattleBots, because like you have to get picked. You don't just apply and go. You have to be picked. So if you have a flamethrower drone in addition to your main rig, like that's pretty smart. You're probably gonna get picked, if nothing else than just for the shit show of the drone getting completely annihilated in its face. Loon FPV calling out this strange Catwoman fantasy. I'm confused myself. Joshua says there are drones and BattleBots with flamethrowers on Discovery Channel. We got that. Dauntless says main weapon should be Harry. He would just annoy the other BattleBot to death. Loon says read Facebook Messenger, end to your stream. All right, Loon's being really emphatic that I read his Facebook message. So at some point my computer will start working and I'll be able to read it. Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, computer. Just take your time. Nobody's live or anything. There it is. There it goes. Nope, still not working. Oh, there it goes. Concert idea. F-16s. I want to slide this one time. I don't get it, Loon. I'm not getting it. Why am I not understanding? I feel very dumb right now. I'm gonna feel less dumb by just moving on. I can't. I'm not getting the joke, and I hate when I don't get jokes. It bugs me. I'll be able to read it with a somewhat clear brain after the stream. During the stream, I can't. Like my brain is not in a good place to understand normal things. Dauntless says Harry can shit, scratch, complain, and everything. Rob Axelson says checking in, stay long. He's probably already gone. If you're not already gone, thanks for hanging, Rob. Toxic FPV confirmed BattleBot is named Whoop. This is a BattleBot stream. Do4 FPV says for them they're BattleBots. The kid's getting high on. All right, here we go. Here we go. I feel like I didn't add Tannerd. So I'm going to add Tannerd, and then I'm going to add the 7. Thank you, Toxic. Thank you, Do4FPV. You are too kind. Joshua Kermai says there are... Oh, we got that. Joshua, if you tag me, you're good. You don't have to repeat yourself. I know why you did, because I'm an hour behind on the stream. But, yeah, if you tag me, I'll typically read it. Loon FPV says we got the... apparently Joshua and Loon were I don't know the word, working together. Rob Axelson says watching Joshua watch out after watching Vancouver's Power Loop was priceless. It really was. Loon FPV says now you have to build a robot death machine Roomba. Vicious Stitches says love seeing you laugh, dude. Join the Patreon peeps, it's worth it. Slide by FPV says I'll give you 20 cents a day if half goes towards the BattleBot. Deal, Slide by. Deal. 20 cents a day will also get you in the $5 to $9 a month Tiny Whoop and Toothpick tier. Giveaways every other Monday. Guillermo says, sorry, I was talking to my producer. I'm here now. Loon FPV with a $5 super chat. He says, saw blades, check. $5 towards saw blades, courtesy of Loon FPV. How is the current season of BattleBots? I'm sure it's amazing. The show is insane. If you guys haven't watched the first 3 seasons of BattleBots, go now. It's crazy. Like, there are episodes where every single fight is so good. Like, there are some episodes of BattleBots where, like, at the end of the episode, I'm, like, out of breath. I'm just like, oh, like, and Kristen watches it with me, so, like, we scream together. It's crazy. Orga A says somebody should make a fireproof cloth/glove for picking up lipos. There are, I mean, you could just use driving gloves. Driving gloves are Kevlar fabric, and they are relatively fireproof. So yeah, a driving glove would totally work for that. I think there have to be fireproof gloves, right? Like just Kevlar, just basically like Kevlar gloves, right? That should be a thing, right? Has to be. I like the idea of using driving gloves, though, to be honest. Although I actually don't have any. I've never liked the let me not go down a fucking car rabbit hole for the next half hour. Remy Tim says, Chomper, exactly what I'm thinking. Show us the paper trail. I want to see how my money's being spent for this BattleBot. We want proof. Here's your paper trail. I'm going to spend it on health insurance. Hopefully. If things keep going the way they're going, luckily I'll be able to spend the BattleBot's money on health insurance, and that'll be a big deal. A really big deal. I will feel much more successful and safe as a human being when that day happens, because I'm getting old, man. Loon FPV says gas station taser edition for the BattleBot. $12 from Loon. Thank you, brother. I'm still mortified that I don't understand the joke that you messaged me, because you sold me on it. You really sold me on that joke, but then I can't for some reason understand it, which is, again, probably just because my brain does not work in the same way during the streams. But after the streams, my brain works, and I'm hoping that I'll look and I'll understand it, because I'll both feel smart and I'll laugh. Chomper FB says, dude, I forgot to tell you my motor output experience. It's easy, one word, phenomenal. Yep, it works. It's great. You can turn your power up and down. Amazing. Without changing motors or battery cell voltage or ESCs or... Tiago Ramos says, Mobula 6 even with the crazy AIO? Yes, because in the Mobula 6 frame, the AIO is fine. So maybe don't change the frame. But in a little bit here, I am going to break off. I have decided that I'm going to break off the plug header that's interfering with the cockroach frame, because I think that there are pads under it. So, yeah, by the end of tonight's stream, you'll know whether or not, if you get a Mobula 6, you should switch the frame out. The Mobula 6 frame is not that bad. It's just kind of gummy. It's just like, it's kind of bendy, and the cockroach frame is not that. The cockroach frame is nice and stiff. This is the Meteor frame, and this is kind of similar in bendiness to the Mobula 6 frame, but the Mobula 6 frame is even worse than this. So, like, yeah, you see how this frame is just kind of like loosey-goosey? This cockroach frame is a lot less loosey-goosey. And then the Mobula 6 frame is even more loose butthole. Oh, what show's that from? I don't think I've quoted that show. I feel like you guys all know it, though. The last of my small purple zip ties are being cut off because I changed my mind on what I'm going to do with the foam feet. So this is the Moon Goat. While I'm working my way through the rest of chat, I'm going to put some foam fetuses on here. Yeah, I said it. and I stand by it. Toxic FPV says there are no Cinesplore frames. Wait for it. It's that good. And all the other frames suck. Like that's the real issue. Like it's not even like I can't even say to you like, oh, here's this other Cinesplore frame that's almost as good. Because all the other Cinesplore frames are like 200 grams heavier. It's yeah, there's absolutely no reason for a Cinewhoop to weigh 500, 600, 700 grams. Like that's just insane. Like there's just no reason for that. Like I guess unless you wanted to do like full blown hardcore crashing freestyle with a Cinewhoop, then all these other Cinewhoops would make a lot of sense because they're all like completely bomb proof. But typically when you fly a Cinewhoop, you're not flying freestyle. You're flying cinematic, and that tends to be fairly calm and like, you know what I mean? Like not crashing into shit all the time ish. Right? So yeah, it just doesn't. I didn't go down the Cinesplore rabbit hole because of this, because I saw how heavy they were and I just sat here like, why? Like what? No, like stop. And I just kept waiting for somebody to make a Cinewhoop frame that didn't weigh like 150 plus grams for just the frame itself. And Bob was the first one to do it. And it seems I haven't seen any other ones that are of a sane, all up dry weight. If you guys have, drop it in the chat, please. Because if Toxic needs to buy a Cinewhoop frame right now, I would love to have a something for him. Do4FPV says the patron link is bad. You can get some. You can just go to Patreon and search for CiottiFPV, or you can go to CiottiFPV.com and there's a Patreon link over there. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that the Patreon link on CiottiFPV isn't working? Nah, it looks like we're good. Cool. If for some reason that link's not working for you, just go to Patreon and search for CiottiFPV. You'll find me. Chomper FPV with a $4.99 super chat. He switched from 20 amp to 25 amp AIO. Same settings and hardware. It's fast now, and the throttle is very sensitive. Any reason this would change, you know of. It shouldn't have anything to do with the amp rating, but if it's a different AIO, it could be anything. Like this is one of the annoying things about AIOs is that like they've got everything on that one board. So like trying to troubleshoot any individual things becomes really hard because it's all in one spot. So you're saying it's fast now and the throttle is very sensitive. Yeah, it shouldn't. I mean, one of those AIOs has a problem, is what you got going on there. Because, yeah, there's no reason that you should be able to buy every single AIO and build a whole, and build 30 or however many there are, identical toothpicks, and they all feel absolutely identical. If any of them feel out of the norm in that test, those AIOs are jacked up. So yeah, one of those two AIOs is having some issues, and it could be electrical issues. It could be like too much electrical noise, getting the PID loop a little bit like overactive or something maybe. Yeah, that's a really weird issue, Chomper. Which one flies better would be a question. Neither one of them probably have black box, so you can't like actually figure it out. But whichever one like flies better, which has like cooler motors, I would I would get more of that AIO, because this is gonna drive you insane having these two. Oh no, you switched from one to the other. Okay, you don't have two. I was gonna say it's gonna drive you nuts to have two rigs that feel totally different. That's strange. Scroll. Think about how many quads you could get for 250 pounds, T-Bird says. just have like 15 FPV pilots in there, and they all go, it's bop, 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 and they all just go, and Tombstone just smashes a dozen 5-inch freestyle rigs back to Africa. Loon FPV says, stop giving Skynet ideas. Slide by says, could you make an electromagnet that you lift the other object with? I mean, you could certainly make an electromagnet, but there's a snowball's and chance in hell you're going to lift up a 250-pound chunk of metal with it. Also, I bet you an electromagnet is hideously heavy. But yeah, that would be interesting. Pick it up and just fly it. I think I saw in the Facebook group that they changed the arena to make it harder to knock people out. So yeah, not going in the right direction for us, but hey. Alexander says, can we just do a directional EMP from the air? Yeah, right? T-Bird says, Chomp this year is 500 pounds because it's a true walker. So they're letting legit walkers double the weight. That's pretty cool. That's them like really incentivizing people to do walkers. That's cool. It makes sense for Chomp to be a walker too, because they've got all that fancy stuff going on that bot. That's pretty cool. Man, now I really... hold on. Let me go to this torrent site just to remind myself. Open up a tab. I mean, let me go to this legal website and just leave myself a reminder. 2021. Yeah, there we go. BattleBot's bounty hunters. They're calling the bounty hunters. That's cool. Okay, down with that. There's 4 fucking episodes already. Oh wait, it's a whole. Oh, so they're treating it like a whole new show, huh? Okay, there's 4 episodes already. My God, I had no idea. Oh man, I know what I'm doing tonight. Joan Pilot says, build a bot with EMP fitted on board, fry everything in the area. Are we able to do EMPs without nuclear blasts? For my knowledge of EMPs is that the only way to get them is with a nuclear detonation. But that knowledge is... I haven't looked it up in forever to know if there's been any new tech that's allowing us to do electromagnetic pulses magically without global thermonuclear war. Don Ladd says, was sitting here waiting for the stream to start and fell asleep. Woke up 10 minutes ago and sat up in front of the laptop. Welcome, Don. You should rewind. I had a crisis earlier in the stream. You'll get a kick out of it. Loon FPV says, sorry, the message was in the moment thing about the inauguration concert thing that just happened. I lost my shit. That was super old. Do4FPV says, Patreon link in description says bad. Oh, God damn it. In the description, right? Because... no, that should work. Yeah, it works for me. That's weird. Sometimes what happens is I will... YouTube doesn't like when you put a link in as www. They want https:// which, okay, so did you maybe click on CiottiFPV.com? That would make sense, because I do just have www. In there. So let me fix that. So now the CiottiFPV.com link in the description is going to work, but the Patreon link in there, it should, yeah, it should be working. If it's not working, it's on your side, unfortunately. Sorry. Loon says, you remember this when Sci-Fi, I think it was, had a life-size real steel robot cage fighting show? No, I never saw that. That sounds silly. T-Bird says, oh yeah, oven, right, of course. Grill gloves and oven gloves and shit, yeah. OV-glove are fireproof oven mitts, T-Bird says. Richard says, oven mitts. Don Ladd says, Health Inc. is the name of your BattleBot. Tuna Taxi says, BattleBot build will one day become a dream come true. You never know. Metaldirtskin says, so the meteor frame is meteor. I'll show myself now. No, it's less. Well, yeah, I guess it's meteor than the Mobula 6 frame. Bunch of people called out workaholics. Okay, good. Just I always like to make sure that you guys watch the same shows as me so that you can, stay. Tuner Taxi says, I need a recommendation on 3-inch Cinewhoop motors using 1.5 shaft props. The ones that use 2 screws to hold them. Also using a 20 amp AIO board. Oh, yeah, the 2004s. Yeah, this. That's what this is. Yeah. Brother Hobby 2004s and Cinesplore frame when it comes back in stock. T-Bird says, Toxic FPV, you could get an Acrobrat and add ducks. Yeah, you could do that. Oh, wait, no, talking to Toxic. I don't know where Toxic is in the chat. Chopper FPV says, I like the Hulk mode AIO, but I didn't understand why it's faster. I do have 2 of the same rigs. For this one, only difference is motors and others for us. They're tiny trainers. Yeah, whichever I'll bet you, Chomper, whichever the nicer AIO is, that's the one that's performing better. I'll bet you that the cheaper of those AIOs has a lot of electrical noise, and that electrical noise can cause havoc on the PID loop. And then just weird shit happens. Like when you have electrical noise on a rig, like it's really tough to troubleshoot because some very strange stuff happens. So look into that. Chomper says, but the 4S feels slower than the 3S after the switch of boards. This just gets weirder and weirder. Yeah, I mean, that should not be. Unless you've got the 4S turning so much RPM that it's saturating the motors earlier in the throttle throw. That's a tough one, Chomper. That's a tough one. Message me at CiottiFPV and we'll start the troubleshoot. That's going to be a hell of a troubleshoot. But yeah, message me and we'll get it. The sooner we get it started, the sooner we'll figure out what the hell's going on there. Dan Richmond says, instead of downloading torrents, install Kodi on your TV or PC and install add-on called Tempest. Then all TVs and movies streaming are free. I'll bet that is PC-only software. But I'm doing a Google search for Kodi. Open source home theater. Download. Oh, Mac OS. Very cool. Native application. All right. I'll do a little reading, see if Kodi is the way to go. Thanks for the tip, brother. Slide by says, I want to get my first long range quad. What do you think of the Flywoo Bind and Fly Explorer long range Crossfire? I have 854S packs already. Slide by, the long range thing is not, it's not my deal. So I just don't really pay much attention to long range stuff. And so I'm just, I don't want to give you a recommendation because it's going to be a recommendation based on what I've seen and read in reviews and stuff like that. And that's just not Like, just go watch the review, right? And then you can make your own call. Yeah, it certainly seems like that's a good rig, but I can't add any value to that to this conversation because I just don't know, and I'm not a fan of just saying like, yeah, it's great. I never want to be the guy that does that, and then you go out and buy it and it's not great. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not the guy, man. Sorry, but 4S850s, what I can tell you, should be really good on like a 3 or 4 inch long range rig. All that being said, what I can say about long range rigs is like, it's just a lightweight frame with motors that are way too small for the props. There's not a whole lot, and they're not meant to crash. So like, as long as the frame doesn't have like a horrible resonance, it kind of doesn't matter, right? Like that becomes like the only thing that matters about the frame, right? Like as long as the frame flies, like that's kind of it. It doesn't need to be strong. It doesn't need to be anything. It just needs to get up in the air, without having some kind of like a horrible resonance between the arms or something weird like that. And usually these frames are flown at least once or twice before they're released, and that's usually enough to catch any like nasty resonances. So yeah, long range rigs are pretty kind of straightforward. Just find a motor that's way too small, a prop that's way too big for it, and throw it on the lightest frame that you possibly can, and that's like voila, you've got a long range rig. The flight performance of long range rigs is so bad that like it just nothing really matters. Like your long range rigs sacrifice everything just to be good at this one single thing. So it really makes doing a build very easy because every single decision in the build just has that one singular focus. Whereas like a freestyle build, it has to be good at like cinematic flying, it has to be good at bashing, it has to be good at long range, it has to be good at all these different things, and you've got to find your mix of all those things that suits your flying style the best. Whereas, yeah, a long range rig is just not like that at all. It's just smallest motor possible that you can get enough thrust to get it up in the air, and then see what happens. And then hopefully you can find your way home, basically. So yeah, don't overthink a long range build. I think would be my recommendation. What you want to overthink is your antenna placement and your goggle setup, your receiver setup, your antennas, the antennas themselves. All that's all the stuff, because that's 99% of long range, is you and like you doing everything perfectly, like pre-flight checklist, like all the stuff that the wing guys do, and yeah, and that's how you get your rigs back basically from long range missions, is paying really close attention to all those little tiny details. I don't love how this zip tie is sitting on here, but I think it's gonna be all right. It's doing an okay job holding this wire in here. I don't feel like this wire is gonna be able to escape from that. What if it does prop strike? Ooh, that's gonna be a hot mess. That is going to be rough if that prop strikes like that. Oh boy. I did not see that. So basically on this frame, the way that I ran the motor wires, see the tip of this propeller? What I always like to do is like pretend like there's a prop strike, and I'll just bend the tip of the propeller down and see where it's gonna hit. And this is hitting in like the worst possible spot. It's like hitting exactly where I don't want it to. There, see where the wire, see where it's. So if it prop strikes, it's gonna yoink these wires right out of here and just gash the shit out of them. It's one of the reasons I really like LED race wires, is because you can put the LED race wire exactly where the prop is gonna hit. So the prop hits the PCB instead of your motor wires. And when a prop gets all tangled up in your motor wires, all hell breaks loose. When it hits a PCB, it just bing and just bounces right off of it. I need a better solution here. Yeah. I could use these guys. This is Wrap Strap. How about we put this aside on Whoop Wednesday, and I'll figure it out on 5-inch Friday. Wrap Strap away. Go away. Crap strap. Trying to find my spot. Get there eventually. God damn it, YouTube. Why do you do this? Why do you do this? There it is. Chomper FPV says the cheaper board is outperforming the expensive board. Oh god. I switched from Beta FPV V2 to Mamba F4. See if you can return the Mamba F4 would be my recommendation, Chomper. See if you can return it and get I would try to get a replacement maybe, and then with the replacement you'll because if you get 2 in a row that are bad, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would love it if they sent you a replacement and then you were able to test that to figure out if all these Mamba F4 boards are junk or if it was just that one that you got. So that's gonna be my suggestion. CiottiFPV says, I got my first order of long-range toothpick stuff. No rush at all. I'm grounded from ordering things for at least a month. Next order, my FPV cycle camera and for this and the glide frame. Nice, Dauntless. That's going to be dope. Got the motors to mix with the prototype ones and a frame that you can do 3-hole and 4-hole today. Hey, Dauntless, do me a favor. Shoot me another message with your address. I'm sending you these 1204s, right? I was packaging stuff up, and for whatever reason I couldn't find your address earlier. So shoot me a message that says, "Yo, my address is here." I couldn't find your the messaging conversation because I think the address is in there. But yeah, do me a favor, just bump that conversation up to the top because I'm sure it's in my messages, but it's probably 5,000 pages down because it's been more than 5 minutes since we last talked. Frank Nicholas says Cody supplies 0 content, only illegal plugins allow access to content not paid for. I think that's what that second part of what they were saying. The person said get Cody and then get some other thing. Yeah, I need to know what that other thing is if I'm going to be able to do this. There it is. Install add-on called Tempest. So I also need to look up the add-on called Tempest. Cody Tempest. Google auto guesser says Cody Tempest not working. First result. It tried to autofill. Why all of a sudden is it so impossible for me to find where I'm at in the chat? Come on. There it is. Doc says, not sure if I missed the motor talk or not coming in late, but I have a Mobula 6 HD. Doc, I haven't started on anything yet. I have a Mobula 6 HD that I've transplanted into a Mobula 7 V3 frame and upgraded to 40mm props and 25,000 kV motors. That's a lot of motor for those bigger propellers. How is that, Doc? My guess. Oh wait, no. It still takes 40% throttle to take off. Would upping the motors to 1102s help? Yeah, Doc, for sure. The 0802s are just way too small, and 25,000 kV is actually way too much for the bigger propellers, the bigger 1.6-inch propellers. So yeah, got to get that onto 1102s. Dauntless says, I got a 5G unibody toothpick frame, no hardware. 5G. It's 5G. 5 gram unibody toothpick frame. Free Range Chicken says the brushed cockroach frame or the brushless. It depends on which motors you're going to run. If you're going to run brushed motors, you got to get the brushed frame. If you're going to run brushless, you got to get the brushless. Nukem says, my long-range build sacrifices nothing. Tomoquad's Katana V2 2204 FPV cycle 2800 kV T-mount 4S 5-inch prop session 5. It freestyles awesome for like 15 to 20 minutes. So yeah, that's not really... I wouldn't consider that to be a long-range build. That is more of a freestyle build that is more sort of geared towards long range. A long range build, a proper long range build, with those low pitch 5-inch props would be a motor like you would motor that down to like a 1604 or like a 1505 or something like that. That's what the actual long range community would consider to be like a long range rig like that. So yeah, Nukem, the rig that you've got there is closer to what I would build. But yeah, that's the reason why that build sacrifices nothing is because it's not a long range build in the common sense of what a long range build is to that community of pilots. Dauntless says, yeah, those 12 to 2.5. Awesome. Thanks, Dauntless. Chomper says, oh shit, LOL. It's the other way around. The $65 Beta FPV is underperforming the $35 Mamba board. I'm tempted to buy another one to see if the Beta FPV board is shit. It's pretty damn new as well. Don't do that, Chomper. Just get another Mamba board. Beta FPV stuff, it's great for what it is, but I've seen lots of issues with Beta FPV stuff, which I hate to say that because they just recently sent me some stuff to build, but you got to make good stuff if you want me to say good things about your stuff. Yeah, I've had a tough time with some Beta FPV stuff. If they make one more motor that's too coggy to fly, I'm gonna just scream. And I just before this stream, actually, I messaged them again, and I said, any chance of any of your motors in the future being flyable? Like, this is why nobody sends me anything. Slide by says, homework time is nap time, not actual homework time. I was trying to be nice and not a bad person in chat talking about that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can talk about it. Don't expect me to talk about it, but you guys can say whatever the hell you want here. Doc says, follow-up question to the Mobula 6 HD. Any preferred 1102s in brand or KV? No, because there kind of aren't any options. The only two options are the Happy Model 1102, which seem okay, but they might be a little they might be a little coggy. And then Beta FPV has an 1102, which is much smoother. And Beta FPV's motors are okay. Like, the quality of the motors seem okay, but they've chosen to design many of their motors in a way that makes them very coggy. These are not that. Their really small motors seem to be fine. Their 1106s are fine. These 1102s are fine. The 1103s are fine. The 0802s are fine. The 0803s are fine. So yeah, Beta FPV's smaller motors seem okay, but their bigger motors geared for like 3-inch and 4-inch and 5-inch props are pretty rough. They're not pretty rough. They are untunable. They're not untunable either. They are racing motors only. They are so coggy that there is no way to get jello-free footage out of any kind of like an HD camera with them. So at that point, in my opinion, they become, well, I guess they could also be long-range motors. Okay, yeah, because long-range doesn't care about HD either. So yeah, hardcore anything without HD, I guess would be what we could say. YouTube did the thing. Scrolling back up. Boost and JDM says, you keep saying motor output limiting. Do you mean throttle scaling, or is there a setting I'm overlooking? Boost and JDM, motor scaling scales both the amount of power going to the PID loop as well as the amount of power that you have access to with your throttle stick. And that's key, because if you just do throttle limiting on a 6S 2400 kV setup, the first time the PID loop asks for a bunch of power, it's going to ask for enough power to end the world, and it's going to cook the ESC or the motors or just send the quad into low orbit. So yeah, motor output limiting is a way that you can run heinously high kV motors on cell counts that you wouldn't usually be able to run it. And it's right here, motor output limit, and then scale factor, and yeah, so this is gonna output, or this is gonna limit the output of both the PID loop and your throttle, whereas in here the throttle limit is only going to limit your throttle. So yeah, two similar but very different things in their uses. The best possible way to do this would be to figure out the most possible power, and this is, I've been kind of talking to Spats a little bit about this, but we haven't had a full conversation. I was almost thinking about trying to get him on here to have the conversation with him, but it feels like, so how high your P gains are pretty much adjusts how much of the available motor output you're allowing the PID loop to have access to. Then you've got this motor output limit, which kind of does the same thing, right? Because it adjusts the amount of kV that the PID loop is going to have access to, as well as how much of that RPM that your throttle is going to have. So what I want to talk to Mark a little bit more about is like whether or not there's an advantage to, for example, on a crazy high RPM rig, right? Technically speaking, you could run that at 100% scale. It's like 6S 2400 kV on 5-inch, right, for example. You could technically run that at a full scale factor of 100 in the motor output limiting, but then just dump your PIDs down to like 10. And then, so in that scenario, the PID loop has access to a shitload of power, enough power to blow the ESC up, but you're setting the P gains down so low that you're not giving it access to that power. So I want to talk to Mark a little bit about whether or not there are any advantages to doing it. Well, so here's the other option. The other option is you scale it down to like 50%, and then you run the PID gains up at like 100, right? It sort of accomplishes the same thing in theory, but I'll bet you in practice it doesn't. I'll bet you in practice it makes more sense to leave the PIDs around the stock values, 40s, 50s, and then to scale within, within reason, I guess we could say. But yeah, I don't know. And then, so technically speaking, the ideal way to do this is to figure out the maximum amount of power that that the PID loop can handle, and to set your motor output limit accordingly. And then, if that's too much power for you, also put a throttle scale to bring the amount of power that you have access to on the throttle stick down. But when you motor output limit, you kind of do all that at once, because the motor output limit and like the amount of total horsepower that you want is going to be pretty similar to the total amount of horsepower that you want your PID loop to have access to. So yeah, motor output limiting just kind of works really well. It sort of does all those things all at once in one simple to use value, and it's a beautiful thing. And you're gonna love it almost as much as you love my nuts. Yo, I'm hungry as hell. I don't know if we're gonna get anything done. It's been an hour and 51 minutes. We haven't done a single thing yet. Oh my god, I'm at the bottom of the chat though. Boost and JDM says, got it, trying to simulate 19,000 kV on 25,000 kV in Mobile 6 to see what motors to buy next. Just in case anybody doesn't know how to do that, if you're going to buy 25,000 kV motors and you want to figure out what motor limit to set to simulate 19,000, the way that I do it is the caveman way. I multiply by, and I just take a guess. So that's 80%. So 80% brings it down to 20,000 kV. So 75%. There you go. 75. So like 76 or 77% is where you would set your motor scale, and you're just multiplying by a decimal, and that's it. Super straightforward. Chomper FPV says, I'll be here this coming Monday for the giveaways. Check your bottom banner. Yeah, giveaways are every other, but I don't have the space to type that down here. But I want people to see that I'm doing giveaways, because that's the thing that drives people to hang. So all right, let's do some Whoop Wednesday stuff. Finally. Oh boy, if I hadn't had a complete meltdown for a half an hour, we'd probably be done already. But I did, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Everybody go check out FPV Exchange, or I'll beat you with a hammer. It's Nevin's website. It is awesome. And if you're not on there, you're only hurting yourself. My favorite thing about FPV Exchange is that you can go on there, set up an account for free, and you can have it import all of your past orders from all the big websites. And then when you want to sell something, all you got to do is search for it in your own little list and flip a switch. And it's for sale on a website that a shitload of other FPV people are on. Whereas with Facebook Marketplace, you've got to take a picture of your stuff, you've got to type up a description, you've got to figure out what you want to sell it for, you've got to deal with 10,000 assholes lowballing you. FPV Exchange is not like that, man. When you flip the switch to set something that you've put on there for sale, it puts you selling that right next to all the other manufacturers. So the other thing you can do with FPV Exchange is price shop. If you're in the market for a Crossfire Nano, you can search for it on there, and it'll show you what that particular part costs on all of the retailer websites. But then if there's anybody selling that same item, they go in that list too. So it's like really cool because you sort of get to sell your stuff right alongside of RDQ and Pyrodrone and GetFPV and Ready to Fly Quads and all the other resellers. And yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's just easy, man. It just saves you so much time. You can also do stuff like setting your willingness to sell. Like if you have something that's only kind of for sale, you can do that. Like there's a setting for that. It's really well done. It's a really well done site, and I really hope that we all start using it more, because I think it opens up some really fun doors for like trading gear, and that's a fun thing to do, you know. It's tough when like you realize an electronic component is just not for you for whatever reason, and yeah, don't let that sit on your shelf. Get the value out of it by moving it along to somebody else, and then you can try something new. It's something I actually need to get better at doing. I tend to like not sell stuff anymore because I just hold on to it and then do giveaways with it. Yeah, there's some stuff that I don't want to do giveaways with, either because it's like a little beat up or it's just not giveaway material, I guess, if that makes any sense. I'm giving up on this full speed RC tiny pusher. I looked, so the main reason being that they have decided to hard mount their 16x16 flight controller, and hard mounted flight controllers are a train wreck, and this is a train wreck. So I'm actually going to put the motors that it came with here back onto it, and message Nick Burns, who sent it to me, to see if he wants it back. He probably won't want it back, at which point I will not know what to do with it. Because like for carrying an Insta360 Go, you're gonna get jello because of the hard mounted flight controller and its inability to deal with the amount of vibrations coming in. And I don't know, I guess if you're just using the Insta360 Go footage for fun, it doesn't matter that there's jello in there, so I guess I should just do a giveaway with it. But for me, like, that makes it that makes it kind of worthless, you know what I mean, in a way. And like, I don't know, I feel weird sometimes about doing giveaways for stuff that I don't want. I really try to do the giveaways for stuff that either I personally fly or just stuff that I want. Like that's how I buy the giveaway stuff, is when I'm shopping around on a website because I need another replacement F40 Pro 4, for example, as I seem to always do. If I find some more stuff that I want, or that's in the clearance section that I want, I'll buy like multiples of it. I'll buy myself one and then 2 or 3 more for the giveaways. And yeah, it's just it's a very easy way of making sure that I'm giving you guys good stuff, is to make sure that I'm buying stuff that I want, because stuff that I want is good stuff. I don't want garbage. Give a garbage, chicks dig garbage. I'll be pretty impressed if you guys can figure out what movie that's from. Give her garbage, chicks dig garbage is the quote. You guys might actually get it, because no, I'm not going to say that, because that would give it away a little bit. And I'm very curious if anybody. It's a pretty random one. Alright. I see you guys in the chat, but let me do a little more here. Let me just keep going. Oh, these are a 4-bolt motor. Okay, so hold on. I gotta do something here. I gotta change the title of the goddamn stream because I lied. We're not testing 1202s because there are no 1202s with a 3-bolt mounting pattern. Sorry, but we can test 0803s, 1102s, and I think 1103s. Nope, the 1103s are 4-bolt as well. So we're gonna let me just double check that. Hold up. Yep. Okay. So we are gonna test 0802 versus 0803 versus 1102. There we go. All right. Stream title fixed. Now no, hold on. The first thing that we need to do.
It's 12.
No, it's not. It can't possibly be midnight. I haven't accomplished anything yet. We're not going to test motors tonight. We are going to break a Mobula 6 AIO. No. I'm going to call it a CrazybeeX. I'm going to call it what it's called. CrazybeeX, I think it is. Yeah, CrazybeeX V1. CrazybeeX V1 AIO. And I'm going to explain why we're breaking it in 1 second. And it's because it's what we've been talking about. This motor plug here. Sorry, not motor plug. This is the video plug. They put a plug header for the video, power, and ground. And it hits against the frame. Which I would love to show you, but Logitech cameras suck donkeys. There it goes. See how that is hanging all out? Yeah, it's not good. You can't have that. You can't design an AIO like this. Happy model. You shits. So we got to deal with that. And by we, I mean I. And I've got a million of these goddamn little screws. Let's do this. What am I gonna do with these 1202s now? God damn it. I guess I can maybe do a lightweight 85 build. Would be an interesting idea. I guess. Maybe. Just do this real quick. I gotta clean up this bench, man. There's a big ass mess up there that you guys can't see. Well, yeah, you can see it. Look at this. Look at this hot disaster. Okay. Good. Flow 1202s put aside. And put this aside as well. So we're going to break that connector off. And there should be pads under it that I can then use for the video and the power and the ground. Mainly the video. There are 5-volt and ground pads elsewhere on this AIO that I technically could use, but there is no video pad on this. So if Happy Model thought with if anyone at Happy Model thought for 1 second when they were designing this AIO, we're going to be fine. But if nobody there had a single thought in their head while designing this AIO, I'm going to break this off and there's not going to be a video pad that I can get to. And this will officially be a line of sight only AIO at that point. I have to break this off. If I don't break this off, I can't use this board. It doesn't. Having any part of your flight controller where your gyro is, having any part of that board. Having any part of the frame touching that board, not through a piece of rubber, is going to make that board useless. And that's what's happening in this situation, because it's going to send all of the vibrations into the flight controller. Your flight controller needs to be isolated on rubber grommets of some sort if you would like to get good flight performance out of it. It's just a necessity. So do that if you aren't already. If you aren't already, then you've been suffering with poor flight performance for far too long. And your suffering is about to end. I'm also going to remove this capacitor. We put this capacitor on here as like a last ditch effort to see if the issue might be electrical noise. And it made no change. So, well, I mean, I could try to put some heat in there, but I haven't really, that hasn't really helped in the past. So I'm just gonna grab it, and there's no video pad under there. So that's the end of the stream. We've successfully destroyed the Happy Model X board. Does anybody need a line of sight AIO? I'll sell you one cheap. I mean, that's the end of the stream. What's that? Dauntless says, check the toothpick Discord. That'll be the last thing that we do here. It's also after midnight and I'm tired and hungry. Wow. Happy Model. Really? Really? Happy Model? Really? You made a board where the only way to get to the video is through a big-ass plug header. Really? There's nothing to see, Boost and JDM. It's just blank. It's just blank under there. The like, if you have like 3 points of IQ when you're designing one of these boards, whenever you put a plug header, below that plug header on the PCB, where you can't put anything else, you put fucking pads. You know, and all you actually do is extend the pad that's already there for the goddamn plug header. You just... That's super disappointing, man. Super, super, super disappointing. Yeah, I could try to solder to these pads, but I'm about to show you how asininely small they are. And when the pads are this small, it's really hard to get a reliable solder connection to it. And I'm just not playing that game. So, where the hell was it? There it was. So it's going to be on the top of the screen for you guys, right next to the plug header. Oh my god, what is happening here? Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can get this shit. Where is it? So it's up here. That's where it was. So yeah, any board designed by people with that care at all about their customers, in this blank area, in this big blank area here, you just take these little pads, which are where the plug header is soldered to, and you just extend that pad forward. And you can even, if you want to be really nice, you can extend the outer pads outwards a little bit. That's all you have to do. Happy Model didn't do it. And they also did not put a pad anywhere on this for video. So yeah. Wow. That is extraordinarily short-sighted. I've looked at this board 100 times in disbelief at the fact that there's no video pad anywhere else on here. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just staring in utter disbelief that they only put it on that. Well, that's fine, because the board only has a 25 milliwatt VTX, which is useless anyway, and it's an SPI receiver, so it's useless for me anyway. So yeah, there's that. Frank Nicholas says, why didn't you solder to the pins on the connector? Mainly because they're too small, and they are they're kind of like recessed into the plastic, and it just didn't strike me as something that I would be able to solder to with any strength. See how they're recessed in there? I would have had to solder down to the bottom of the plug header, and there are 3 kind of tall little capacitors back where that was. So the tip of my soldering iron literally wouldn't fit in there. And even if it would fit in there, it's just that same situation that I was saying a second ago, where it would not have been a solid connection. What I could do, and what Brad had suggested when I was playing SnowRunner with him last night, is to cut and I'm just remembering this now, which is pissing me off. He said, what if you cut the top of the plug header off and then solder to the pins on the inside of it? And my initial thought was kind of like the same thing, like those pins in there are really close together. But what I'm doing now is I'm chopping. Yeah, see, those are way too close together. I mean, like, yes, technically, maybe I could have pulled that off, but I'm just not doing the janky thing anymore. And I'm just not. It's just from my experience of doing stuff like that, it doesn't last. Like, it works for a minute, and then not an actual minute, but yeah, I can't have rigs that just let go or are janky. It's just not my deal. So yeah, like technically I could have gone in and soldered to each one of those pins now that I've cut the top off. But yeah, they're just, it's just a little too close together. And that's that. Anybody that wants this board, let me know. And it's all yours. Message me at CiottiFPV on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want. Boost and JDM says, looks like what I had to fix on my Tiny Hawk. It's doable. Chomper says, I thought if there was a pin, there's a pad, but I don't know anything. There are. I'm sure by this point you know. You saw the pads, Chomper. Frank says, pad pitch / size would be the same size as the pins. Yep. Oh yeah, there's Frank saying cut off the top of the plug. The pins, not the pads of the connector. Yeah. And then Dauntless says LCV FPV wants it. Sounds good. LCV, shoot me a message and it's all yours. Just cover shipping or whatever, I guess. Dauntless says, I think I could do it. I think he could too, Dauntless. Solder the mini pad for the plug header, Dauntless also says. And how is there no pad? The pins had to go to something. Zooming in, I don't want to see. Imaginary $5 to the BattleBot Fund, Dauntless says. Oh, Toothpick Whoop Discord. Toothpick and Whoop. Oh, cool, Dauntless. Is that little, that's that little 2-inch. Nice. What frame is that? I don't think I've ever seen that frame before. Nice. I can't wait for that rig to have 2 more motors on it. All right. It looks like I'm somewhat caught up on chat, and I'm tired and sleepy. Do4FPV says scratch off that coating, and it's there. It is, but those are even smaller. The traces are even smaller than these pads here, and these pads are just too small for me to reliably solder to. It's okay. The board is only 25 milliwatts, so it's useless to me, and it's SPI, so it's useless to me. This if there had been pads, this I would have literally only used this to do this motor testing. Which I did kind of want to do, but whatever. I'm gonna make the I'm gonna make these little adapters for JST 1.0 to 1.25, and then I'm gonna get a proper Newbie Drone V1 Acro B brushless board, and then I'll be able to do the motor testing on the board that I'm gonna be using, which makes much more sense anyway. It doesn't really make sense to use a Happy Model board that God knows what the deal is with it, to test these motors and then put these motors onto a different AIO. I just have no faith in Happy Model, which is not really fair. I shouldn't say that. That's not fair. Yeah, it would have been. I'm just trying to not feel so bad about the fact that I just blew up that board. But yeah, it's fine. The testing the motors now versus a week from now when I have the Newbie Drone board doesn't make any difference. So Whoop Wednesday next week, hopefully, if I can get my hands on some of these Newbie Drone boards. Dalton has seen what he can do for me. We will test 0802s. So the test is going to be on the Cockroach 75 frames, 0802 versus 0803 versus 1102. And what's going to happen is the 1102s are going to fly better. Like, that's what's gonna happen. So I'll see you guys next week, and we can do that. Dalton says this is Apex Racing 3-inch toothpick frame. Oh my god, it looked like a 2-inch frame. Thanks for hanging. Here comes some flying from. Oh hey, here's another. Maybe is this another freestyle Cinewhoop battery? Looks like it is. Here's some more of the lightest weight Cinewhoop in all the land on 1804s with these Gemfan tri-blades. What? What? How many rocks are in there? What? No. Hold on. Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. Enjoy. I'll see you guys, I'll see you patrons tomorrow. Goodbye. Here comes some questionably decent flying. Bow 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 bow. Wow bow 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 bow. Oh, that's not how it goes. Yo, this little shit rips. Are you kidding me? This is crazy.